Hello, and welcome to my tutorial on Jujutsu Kaisen inspired nails. Let's get started. So, first things first, add a base coat on your nails. Please add a base coat on your nails if you're using regular nail polish or you're using gel. Always add a base coat, it always comes out cleaner and it's easier to take off. Now I'm using gel for mine, so my process is going to be a lot faster than using regular nail polish. If you are using regular nail polish though, just let you know, it's going to take a while. Our first design is our guy, Jujutsu sorcerer and labor activist Nanami Kento. So I wanted to do the design of his weapon, which is a sword with like a white background and black polka dots. I couldn't find a good picture of it, but if you watch the anime, you know what I'm talking about. And like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure you can find a picture on Google. So what you need to do for this design is add 2 coats of white nail polish or 2 coats of white gel. I find when you add 2 coats, it makes it look more even and it looks a lot more nicer. So I'm using a tool to make polka dots. You can use a tool that I have, which is specifically for polka dots, or you can use like a toothpick or just get creative. Now you may be noticing that like I'm not putting like it very even, and that's because like even in the anime it's not really even, and I think also in the manga, I haven't read the manga so I don't know. But kind of just have fun with it. Like it's okay to put it all over the place. Just make sure that like there's like not so much black polka dots that you can't even see the white, and there's not like an open white space. Once you're happy with your design, add a layer of top coat and then you're done. So for the next design, I'm doing the title Jujutsu Kaisen. So for this one, I'm using black as the base and white for the letters. So when you're using like a design like this, I really suggest using a dark base and light letters. If you choose to do the opposite, you may run the risk of ruining your base. It's always kind of the issue when you have like, let's say for example, a white base and you're using black lettering, is that like the base might look gray when you like mess up so much. So using a darker base is kind of easier than using a lighter one. So I'm using my baby hairbrush, that's what I call it, but I don't think that's what it's called. It's like a thin line brush basically. It's usually used for like lining and all that stuff. It's very easy to use when you're using it for letters. I find like it's very useful for that reason. So you may have noticed that there's like a thumbprint kind of looking thing on the side, and that's not because of my thumbprint, unfortunately. I wish it was. But it's actually because I was using this old gel and it was like running out, and I just really wanted to get rid of it. And so when you do that, you kind of run into the issue like this where like your gel will randomly start to crumple up. I don't know why this happens. Like I'm not sure about the science, but it'll just start crumpling it up and like it will start looking like that. You can usually cover it with a top coat and like it's not that noticeable, but it kind of sucks. So I'm using the same brush that I used before for the lettering and making a halo over it. You can use any color that you want as long as it shows up on the black. So I'm using yellow for mine, and I'm just doing thin lines, outlining it, and then I'll start doing the ridges on it to kind of cover the like thumbprint mark that I have on there. So I like to add more when like I think my design looks like a mess. And like in my opinion, I think this kind of looked like a mess, so I'm adding a bit more. If you like how your lettering came out though, like I kind of don't suggest adding a halo. It very much distracts it and like it kind of looks a little bit much. Like the other design, once you're happy with it, go ahead and top coat and then you're done. For our last design, we have the good, the bad, the cupcake, and the one with serious issues. Yes, it's Itadori and Skuna. For this design, I really wanted to do the half and half look because they are the same person technically. So for mine, I used a black base and then I used the colors red for Skuna and blue for Itadori. Also, I'm sorry for the like audio in the background. I was like videotaping when my mom was watching TV and like I sped it up too, so now it sounds very demonic. I humbly apologize. So, what I suggest to do first is do the outline of the face, the neck, and the shoulders. What I like to do is do the outside first, and then you can look at the facial features next. Now that the demonic background noise is gone, you could start working on the features of the face. So, what I like to do is work on the eyes first and then work on the other features. I'm starting with Skuna first because I find him the most difficult because he has more details than Itadori. But if you want to work on Itadori's side first, go ahead. There's like no rule to it. You also may have noticed that Skuna's side had switched sides. Don't worry, you're not crazy. I did switch the sides. Like, I used a dark blue at first and then it never showed up, so I decided to flip it. So that's the reason why Skuna's side is different than what it was before. So what I recommend for designs like these is to like kind of have breaks in between to let it dry. So like if you're choosing to work the outline first, then let it dry and then start working on the features once that part's dry. And then once you're done with the facial features, start working on the hair. Like choose parts for it. I find that like it makes it more easier and also that like you have to worry less about like ruining the design. I know if you're using regular nail polish, it's a little bit more difficult, but like patience is key for this one. Now for Itadori side. So I'm using this bright blue that I have. It looks sky blue on camera, but it kind of is more subtle in person. So just use a bright blue, I guess. So I'm starting out with the outline like usual, and then I'm working on the details on the facial features. I'm kind of using like large amounts of like gel for this part, and I don't know why, to be honest. Um, but I don't recommend doing that if you choose to. There are ways to like fix your mistakes, but as you might notice later on, I kind of like set myself up for failure because the more paint you put on, the more likely it's going to spread. So, like I said before, it's most likely to spread. And as you may have noticed, that like my jawline for Itadori is already spreading. So, there are several ways I can do to fix it. Number one is to clean a brush that you are using and thin out the lines so it kind of spreads like to like a thin line and connects to another line kind of thing, like I'm doing on the picture. Another thing to do is let it dry and then use the base coat to make thinner lines. Like the other designs, once you're happy with your look, go ahead and put a top coat and put it with the others. So this is the final look. Obviously there's two other designs that I didn't put in the video because I just didn't like how they looked at all. But oh well. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.